let's go to Jarrett and Joey Legend, Liam.
I mean, honestly, I don't care about any of this. I don't have anything funny to say. I don't have any quips. I don't have any critiques. I just don't care about any of it.
So,
I might just sit it out. Garrett, just go ahead. Just run this whole storyline down.
NWA-TNA pay-per-view number 52, July 2nd. Joey Legend makes his debut where he joins Vince Russo and AJ Styles. Russo's out in a lawn chair. He's doing his gloating character. I have no time for Russo as a performer anymore, by the way. Like, I don't like him. And, like, I used to not like him for different reasons, but I used to respect that his, like, delivery used to be good. Russo, I'm just over Russo. Like, as a television character, I think he's extremely boring.
Sorry, I legitimately sat back then. No, I don't mind Russo still. Like, I think he is smarmy. I wish, again, it's like my problem with all these people is like, I wish he showed ass a little more. I wish he was a little more of a goof who was getting his comeuppance and wasn't always winning. But as a character, I don't mind him. As a performer, I don't mind him.
All right, then. Legend comes out.
Oh, you upset about that revelation?
Yeah, I want you to validate my hatred of Vince Russo at all times, Lee. When you weren't there for me. This was a betrayal.
I'm sure I'll get there. Give it another month.
So, yeah, Legend comes out with AJ. They beat the living hell out of Jarrett. They make him bleed. He has internal bleeding. He's like so concerned that Jerry... Is this one where Jerry comes out? Yeah, this is... No, the next week is where Jerry comes out. There's so many times they beat the shit out of Jarrett this month. It's hard to keep track of which is which. Yeah, but they lay him out and he's spitting blood.
They do the same thing.
They do.
No, I mean, sorry, I'm sitting out. Don't worry about it.
So, yes, NWA-TNA baby number 53 the following week. Joey Legend comes out dressed in a New York Yankees shirt, Liam.
Hey, bro!
Jeff Jarrett is here against doctor's orders, and then Legend comes out doing what is meant to be a New York accent, and I do not believe was in any way a New York accent.
He stirs the coffee.
He's the straw that stirs the coffee, is he?
There's the coffee.
I'm from New York, and I'm speaking like this.
Hey,
this is my New
where's
York
the
accent.
freaking gabagoo?
Do you think he mixed up New York and York, the town in England? So he did a York accent instead of a New York accent.
I don't think he did any accent. I think he... You know what I think he did? I think he just came from playing D&D, and this was the voice he gave whatever mystical character he was playing.
Oh, you're of yonder. I am here to be the Vince Russo.
It's just it's like, oh, hello, sir. How are you? Would you like to purchase this item? And he's like, hey, oh, I would like. Where's the coffee?
I am walking here.
Thou is walking here. Where is thou, Gabagool? You motherfucker, you. And also, I was extra offended. How dare these two come out here and steal the bits of doing terrible accents? That's our thing.
Yeah, not only does Joey Legend do a horrific New York accent.
That's my thing specifically.
Vince Russo comes out and does a Jeff Jarrett impression.
Oh, well. J-E-F-F-J-A-R-R-E-T-T. What does that spell?
You have committed more
Aha!
to an impression of Jeff Jarrett in that one sentence than Vince Russo did in the entirety of this promo.
To be fair, he committed mostly into those pants.
He did. He was wearing the suspenders 90s Jeff Jarrett look, which I was wondering, how do you put that on? Because it has the suspenders, and then it has like a circular neck thing. So do you have to like step into it?
I'm guessing it probably just has... Yeah, probably. And then you put it over your head.
Does it open at the neck?
You probably get him from the side.
I was looking at it while Russo was wearing it. It's like, how do you put this on?
Listen, we were all looking at it while Russo was wearing it. Because boy, was he wearing it.
He was commenting on how it was very tight.
Yeah, I just shit myself.
So he was doing it.
Sorry, I got a little Dixie then. A little Dixie card.
You can't help it. It's natural. Ain't I great?
Ain't I great? Ha ha!
Slap nuts.
Slap nuts.
So yeah, they do a modest impression of Jeff Jarrett before Jarrett comes out, tries to...
Best part of this was Vince Russo saying a line, then going to the second rope and throwing up the Jeff Jarrett peace sign like single, and then slipping as he goes up. Good bit.
They should have done a thing where Legend tried to pin Jarrett, and then Russo shoved both hands up in the air.
Got all the stroke around here.
So eventually Jarrett comes out, they brawl, they cut him off, and they beat the living hell out of him again. So much so that Jerry has to come out and check on him.
What a dork.
By the way, Legend's cutter, his like spinning cutter thing he does as a finish, it's called the Stone Cutter.
What does that mean?
Which is that a reference to the Simpsons Secret Society, Liam?
Isn't that like a real secret society?
Well, I don't think it's really called the Stone Cutters, but it's like the...
Oh wait, no, Diamond Cutter. You see? Yeah,
so the famous Simpsons episode, Liam, the Stone Cutters. Do you remember the Stone
but
Cutters?
Also, like, I remember the Stone.
Do you remember they had
Who
a song?
held back the electric car? Who made Gene Gutenberg a star?
Who controls the TNA crown? Who keeps the X Division down? We do. We do. Who keeps Atlanta off the maps?
Who told the heel section to fuck off?
We do. We do.
Who told Goldilocks we've had enough? We do.
So yeah, they lay him out. Then multiple times later in the show, like Jarrett's being checked on by doctors and Legend attacks him again. Jarrett's being loaded into a stretcher and Legend attacks him again.
Yeah, it's constant assault.
There isn't three straight shows this month, which is just Legend attacking Jeff Jarrett.
But to be fair, that's every Jarrett feud, is either him attacking someone constantly or someone attacking Jarrett constantly. So one thing I really resent is that for 1 week he was just Legend. And you wrote in the spreadsheet that you can also see from going to teenagechat.com that you wrote Jeff Jarrett versus Legend, and I was like, oh, that's very considerate of Garrett. Jeff Jarrett's wrestling some sort of legend, and he's writing Legend so I don't get spoiled, as I put in my other star ratings. And then when Legend came out, I was like, ah.
He is in fact just wrestling Legend.
Which, like, again, big ask for this guy, huh?
NWA-TNA pay-per-view number 54, July 16th, 2003. Jarrett and Legend brawl a lot.
Sure do.
So they open the show, they brawl. Later in the show, they brawl. Later in the show, they're meant to have a match. And then Legend attacks Jarrett backstage, and they brawl, and Legend beats Jarrett in like 2 minutes because they brawled so much.
Cool.
This was the point where it's like, I am so over this feud. I'm so over these two human beings.
I was watching this and I had to agree with AJ. Jarrett is doing too many jobs.
He is. He's getting his ass kicked far too much by people on these shows.
Yeah, I was legitimately shocked that fucking Legend beat Jarrett.
Yeah, I guess like they set it up by having Jarrett get his ass kicked 2 weeks in a row. He had internal bleeding. He was
don't care.
They brawled so much. It's
Jarrett should have refused to put this guy over.
Listen, he's trying to make a new guy. Maybe Legend, because Legend's not a bad wrestler. Like Legend isn't a guy who's like, oh geez, he's the worst thing. He's probably like better than Disco.
He's got some charisma to him.
And like, I don't know, he's a guy who's been working in Europe since like 2004. He's just doing random like low-level indies in Europe for like the last 20 years. He's just a guy who's working in Poland and Germany and not in like WXW and like the other companies in Germany.
And like, have you seen his accent work?
Yeah, they should have him doing accents all over Europe.
So, one thing weird about this feud is that... Ow, as my mic hits me in the head. One thing weird about this feud is that halfway through it just turns into some weird, like, Canada versus USA thing.
Yeah.
Which felt out of nowhere.
Because they have no idea what this feud's actually about, other than just, like... I guess, like, Legend is the heavy to keep Jarrett away from Styles. I think that's the idea here.
But that's never addressed.
No, and it's just not interesting in any way whatsoever.
Also, there's that weird Russo interview, and Russo's like, oh, I don't care about Jarrett.
Well, he does. He's lying.
I hate him. But your story this month has nothing to do with Jarrett.
Well, this whole thing is to do with Jarrett, and this is, like, Russo's part of the Legend thing.
Yeah, but he barely shows up. It's just Legend beating him up.
He does a whole impression of Jeff Jarrett this month. He dresses as Jeff Jarrett.
Well, you know what? He is the straw that stirs the coffee.
Definitely. NWA-TNA baby number 55, July 23rd, 2003. Legend has a squash match against Alter Boy Luke and Matt Sydal. And If there was ever a point at which I was to get on board with Legend, it is he as a big man destroying a couple of small men. And even then, he was boring.
He did some shitty F5 looking thing, and I was like, that might be the worst move I've ever seen.
Like, there is no greater format in wrestling than big man squash little man. Like, Eric Watts, when he came out to destroy Kid Cash, and he did his 2 power moves, looked like the best wrestler in the history of TNA.
Sorry, everyone, just clip that one. Eric Watts, best wrestler in the history of TNA, Garrett Kidney, 2022.
When Legend went out, the squash Matt Sydal and Alter Boy Luke, like... Alter Boy Luke is Luke Hawks, by the way. Yeah, it just wasn't any good.
Yeah, I got nothing. Like I said, I don't care about any of this.
And then, shock of all shocks, Liam, Legend and Jarrett brawled again.
I was shocked. I was more interested in seeing Alter Boy Luke.
Yeah, they were separated by security. The red shirt security came out, and then Jarrett got into a little brawl with Kevin Northcutt as well over the red shirt security.
Yeah, they're starting to pay that off now.
They're starting to delineate between the 2 branches of the security.
Oh yeah, one always stops the heels, and one always stops the faces.
And then, last show of the month, NWA-TNA pay-per-view number 56, July 30th, the main event, Jarrett versus Legend in a guitar and bat on a pole match. Is this our first pole match?
No, I'm sure there was one other. No, there was another one, wasn't there? Wasn't there one with Flair and Perfect?
Oh, yeah, there was an Axeland on a pole match, so this is our second pole match, I believe, in TNA history.
Yeah.
And yeah, that Axeland on a pole match was the last match of Kurt Hennig's career.
And this was the last match of Legends.
Jarrett beat him. The match had decent heat, I'll give him that.
This match stunk.
I was so bored. I had no interest in it. I was just like, I'm tuned out of these 2 men interacting with each other.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I originally had this down as a dud. And then I gave it 1.25 stars for the post-match angle.
Yeah, so a thing that happened this month, we'll talk about Elix Skipper separately in the X Division section. But to go into the theme of this is a bit of a reboot month, Triple X have gone their separate ways. They didn't have a breakup. They didn't have any angle. They're just singles wrestlers now.
I thought this was really smart because it made the 2 of them, I guess, because Key's out. But it made both Skipper and Daniels coming in as singles wrestlers feel like big deals, like ready-made guys.
And like to their credit, they gave them both a bunch of vignettes. Daniels had vignettes airing on every single one of these shows up until the angle here where he comes out and he attacks Jeff Jarrett. So like they gave both of them like attention and tried to get them over.
And most importantly, they had Daniels do like the scared squirrel face at the end of every promo, and it made me laugh every time.
The what?
You know, like that old YouTube meme?
No?
Where it's like, I gotta find it now. And this is what all of Daniel's promos ended with. And he even did it in the final beatdown on the ramp, and it made me cackle.
Oh, yeah, that. Yeah, I've seen that before.
Yeah, that's what he does at the end of all of his vignettes.
Here, I will throw the link to Dramatic Squirrel in the show notes after the main event segment here, if you would like to know what Liam thinks this looks like. There you go.
I'm gonna give Daniel's doing it so that I can compare the 2.
He does do that at the end of every single promo where he dramatically looks back at the camera, and like he's still doing like the sports entertainment thing. He's just like, professional wrestling has failed you, and I need to show you the way. I need to guide you through the ways of sports entertainment.
It's interesting that they kept that aspect for this character.
And abandoned it for Skipper. And frankly, everybody else, like Russo's not doing this anymore, Disco's not doing this anymore, it's only Daniels.
They gave an explanation for why Russo isn't.
Which was nice
of them. That he can't institute sports entertainment extreme or get his values across while that damn Jeff Jarrett's running around.
Oh yeah, because we should mention he did do an interview on the show with Mike Tenay, which I thought was extremely boring.
I thought it was a little decent one. Didn't care one way or the other.
There you go. So yes, after this match, after Jarrett defeats Legend, Christopher Daniels returns to TNA. And what actually I thought was a nice little touch, where the last vignette of Daniels aired on this show where they said that he's returning next week. So it was like a big swerve. It was a big surprise when he actually showed up in the main event to take out Jarrett.
And he looked fucking great. But I don't like... They debut him at such a high level. I'm like, but he doesn't, like, win anything. Like, I have no faith in them to push this.
And we did just get an entire month of Legend against Jarrett. So desensitized to anything Jarrett is doing.
Yeah, like, it's not going to make Daniels look great. Even if he does win, he beat the guy that Legend beat.
So that is all of the Jarrett and Legend stuff. A stellar month of content.
Forever.